There is literally no harm in starting it with some harmless sexism.
Harmless sexism. Is there any other kind?
I mean, apparently benevolent sexism exists.
Oh yeah. That's like when when they see a puddle on the street and a gentleman puts his coat down, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
ruin a good
Someone
coat?
across the street. Is it benevolent sexism if you stop a rape attack?
No.
Mm.
That's
I don't know,
harmful.
some
So
people
that's
might-
harmful. That's harmful sexism against the guy that was doing the thing.
Right. I'm not going to make rape jokes, but I've heard there was someone who recently they were prosecuted, even though they prevented the crime, they were prosecuted with the very crime that they prevented. And I was like, this is
What?
What?
It was a theft, and they found it and returned the item,
Huh.
but instead that person was prosecuted for the theft, even though they found it.
I hate to say this, but I would have looked straight in the judge's eyes when I was being prosecuted and said, "Well, Your Honor, you taught me a valuable lesson. If I find something, ever fucking return it.
If
fucking keep it."
If it was me, I would have said, "Just give me the death penalty."
Yeah, just since we're going whole hog here, let's go for gusto. Just death penalty right off the bat.
Just lock you in the Tower of London.
I would actually enjoy that, so I don't know if they could get away with doing that to me.
You just need to threaten to kill the Queen, I think.
Well, no, see, I've heard so many cool things about the Tower of London, especially the 2 kids that were murdered there, and now they're supposedly ghosts roaming around.
While I don't believe in ghosts, there are some ghost stories I remember being told as a child from local houses, old rickety Victorian homes, some teeny tiny hobbit-size houses that were supposedly haunted. Hell, apparently, right. So in my town, there are smugglers' tunnels going underneath the town, and also a town underneath that was called Deal. And current town, I guess it's like Futurama. You can call it New Deal. You know, that seems right.
You mean Franklin Roosevelt lived there?
Like New York and New York. But there's a toilet in a roundabout. Basically, there's a roundabout, and underneath it are toilets, which makes total fucking sense. And I remember when I first moved here, they were saying, "Yeah, those toilets are haunted," and I'm like, "By who? Fucking Myrtle."
That's great.
I just don't. I just felt weird going downstairs into a hole in the ground to go to the bathroom, knowing a car was driving over my head.
Well, I would have loved the thought that some ghost would try to stick its finger up my ass while I'm trying to take a dump.
So if you're constipated, that could really help.
Well,
Just
no,
saying.
what helps with constipation is like what happened to me when I was in a fucking I was out in like New Mexico in one of the rest areas. I'm taking a dump and a fucking big ass black scorpion falls out of the rafters right in front of my feet.
That helps.
It's a good thing I was already sitting on the toilet.
I've been when you get nervous, sometimes your body kind of stresses out in different ways, and I've been caught out a bit like that before, where you just can't go to the toilet at all. And so once I walked a friend home. It was 4 miles from my house, and just before we left, I'd eaten something called malt loaf.
Oh boy!
And I'd forgotten what goes into malt loaf. So when I got my friend back to her home and started walking back, I remembered malt loaf has prunes in. Prunes are a natural laxative.
Yep.
Those 4 miles were the most painful 4 miles of my life.
It was
Well, when
story
you're
of shitting in a bush.
When you're clenching your ass together while you're walking, yeah, that can be kind of bad.
I ran as fast as I could, and I was a wide receiver. I played football. Okay, I could run, but fuck, it hurt. Oh no! Bringing back Vietnam flashbacks here.
Well, Well, don't feel bad. I mean, I drive a truck, and if I have to park at the very back of the truck stop parking lot, and I have to take a poo, that can be a hell of a walk. Trust me.
The Green Mile. Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't know
exact-
how we're managing to do a stream on turds.
Hey, shit jokes are standard, aren't they?
Last night, right, I did a post UK election stream with Cog and Irate Bear, and for a whole hour, we stayed on topic for the most part. If you ignore the first 2 minutes of the stream where I went live before without realizing, and we weren't,
Where you were
we were just
dumbass.
talking about washing machines and noise, and then something else. But we ended talking about talking about people jizzing jam, and they're calling it meaty man fat jam. 3 whole minutes. And I'm like, oh God. Irate Bear opened his mouth and he said that. Oh my fucking God. This is not politics. It was good fun though. Meaty man fat jam.
Right.
I really the term man fat really I'd never heard that before meeting him.
Oh, well, sometimes you just have to bear it.
What's been going on with you guys?
Not much. Besides attending the Title IX thing today. So that was rather scarring experience. I don't know if you saw the video before of where I shared the Roe University's president virtue signaling out his ass before about needing to get more women into STEM. He did that again today.
I love the thing that you shared about getting more women into engineering by creating an engineering course that was more humane.
Oh God, that thing. That was Let me see if that paper actually came through.
I believe I've already said it a couple of times. Yeah, let's just throw out what works in favor of that bullshit.
Yeah, let me see the progress of that.
It's so annoying. I have started reading the 14-page paper on intersectional quantum physics. The problem that has arisen is that as smart as I am, the language is so confusing.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's there to calm your feels, not to stimulate your brain.
It's not just confusing me in that department. It's the fact that a lot of very long words have been inserted that don't appear to have a place there. So I'm not sure if I'm getting the right context or understanding where the point they're trying to make or not. I think they just overcomplicated the language style to the point where I would have to take it, dumb it down, and then reread it to see if it makes any sense.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
the request is processing for that paper, the Implementing Feminist Theory in Engineering. That will be a paper that'll have to be done with somebody at some point because Jesus fucking Christ, fuck off.
Well, that's epic fail waiting to happen. Is what it is.
Yeah, that's a way to completely destroy engineering and implement feminism in it. No, fuck off.
That's the thing with all the problem with a lot of the engineering thing. People talk about a lot. Is as interesting as it may be for a course, the real world application involves a lot of hard work that is very physically demanding, and that doesn't appeal to quite a lot of people, male and female, but mostly female, and that's been proven to be true. Either you lower the bar for girls, you deny guys access to it, or what? You just encourage girls from a young age who probably won't be able to do as good a job.
If you lowered the bar on it, there'd be twice as many dudes in it, wouldn't you think?
Well, lowering the bar for one gender over the other.
Well, no. Where's the equality in that? Wouldn't they have to lower the bar across the board? Then there'd be twice as many guys doing it.
Not if they're trying to pander to women. Yeah, and this has happened before. It's happened a very long time ago. It happened in a video, and TLD mentioned it in a video with the New York Fire Department lowering the bar for one individual female,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though other girls had managed to get through the physical that this girl had not managed to get through.
Right.
It's so like to avoid, and I wouldn't be surprised if universities, especially if they're privately owned, or colleges, if they're privately owned, I wouldn't be surprised if they did pander, if only to prevent themselves getting accused or sued for being racist or discriminatory in any way.
I think they should just chuck it in the fuck it bucket and don't bother doing that.
I mean, that's the right way to do it.
Exactly. That's the way I would do it.
Yeah, that like.
You know, the one thing I'm going to say this live on the air, and maybe they'll listen finally. But pilot truck stops need to have me do a voiceover for their truck stops. You're listening to WPLT Pilot Radio. We play the music that sucks cock through a garden hose.
Oh dear God! What did you just say?
I'm saying their music sucks. That's all you need to know. Hang on, I'll be back. I'm gonna grab something to eat.
Okay.
Food is
What was
mildly
this?
important.
You linked. I'll put it up on the screen. And
What-
I have actually, by the way, he's going to notice this. I'll screen share the I'll screen share the window because he's going to, in the chat is a guy who wrote a fanfic for myself and Miss Misa, and right here is that fanfic.
Oh,
Yes,
boy.
I was reading.
You're
I
gonna-
was reading it
You're
just
gonna
before.
scar us.
Just before Andrew joined the hangout, I was reading it, and I was rather enjoying it.
Are you
let's
gonna
see.
scar us?
No, not yet. I thought we'd have a little look at this because you linked it to me. So
I mean, it's something
bullshit.
that's fucked up in your country, so I had to point it out. I mean, I have enough fucked up shit here with like Evergreen State still going on.
To me, if they're going to weaken a degree final exam, or even themselves, their own reputation, their own standards, just to pander to agenda because because of this. While men and so-called risk takers do better in stressful test classroom environments, so to close the achievement gap. Fucking hell. I don't like the fact that you have to create two separate environments. If you want to do that, I have a solution. Okay, so what you do, you put all the guys in the stressful test classroom environments, and then what you do with the girls, you put them in the other environment that you say is more suited to them, which would have a stove, a kitchen sink, plates, spoons, knives, forks, bread, knife, butter, ham, bacon, everything, an oven, a microwave, a kettle or a teapot, a coffee grinder, manual because we don't like those electric ones, they're shit. And everything else needed to really make a woman feel like she belongs. At ease, so she can answer the bloody questions in the fucking exam paper that, well, she's probably spent a few months cramming for. But she'll feel comfortable because guys feel comfortable stressing out and pulling their hair out and going bald.
Oh, yeah. Omegon, I have to show you this while I'm thinking about it. I'm pretty sure you would enjoy...
Well, hang on, I'll stop sharing a second and I'll have a look.
Yeah, that's the kind of prizes we got in the truck stop.
What is that?
It's a drone.
That's a Protocol Dronium 2AP
Oh,
with
I
HD
fly
camera.
drones. Okay, so I've been flying remote control helicopters for about 7 years, and remote control drones for about 3 years. And I live by the ocean, so I have really heavy wind, but I am a very stable flyer in heavy wind. So I'd like to
That's
become
good.
a reasonably competent pilot.
Oh, there you go.
I want that drone though. I want it.
Yeah, it was very nice looking.
Where's that?
You want a lot of things.
I want everything because I'm a greedy cunt. Where am I? Oh yeah.
This,
One of the university's final year exams will be replaced by a paper that can be completed at home. I hope it's like, I hope they all get pranked or something. I want it to be like a little equal opportunities piece of paperwork they have to fill in, right? And then behind a post that says "Suck it, bitch" is in the exam room. But some have cried foul. Oh yeah. Narrow closing. Oh my god, closing number of men getting top degrees. What kind of degree? What kind of degree requires someone to go home and write an essay? It's coursework. Exam anymore.
I'm pretty sure I can guarantee it's not lesbian dance theory.
Obviously.
That'd be an interesting take-home exam.
Consulting decision to allow students to sit exams at home in an attempt to close the gender gap. It implies that women are the weaker sex. Women are a protected class. This just helps reinforce that. It is embarrassing.
Yeah, when you're shooting for one thing, you completely miss and hit the opposite. Jeez.
Like the only exams that I ever had take home, like in engineering, where you had to spend like 20 hours or something writing code, or you're given a problem that you have to solve, or like you're doing something technical related.
Well, no, you know what,
and it's something that everybody does. Everybody.
No, you want to know what exams? You want to know exactly what exams I was allowed to take home when I was in school?
What?
The ones that I had to take while I was hurting at home, or really sick, or had major surgery for.
Yeah.
On the subject of coding, I spent for a project, one of my modules, I spent 2 weeks coding, and I actually got to the point where I did sleep, but I didn't realize I'd slept. Minus like the occasional, like, because I'd been in front of my computer the whole time. My legs were incredibly sore and my back hurt like a motherfucker. But my housemate taught me this trick to click like most of my spine, which was amazing. And
you'll have to teach me that one.
She she's her heritage gave her an advantage, her Chinese heritage anyway. And she kept coming into the room because there I am sat there steadily looking more and more like a psycho. Or as she said, "Oh look, you look like a paedophile now."
You didn't already look like one?
Maybe one day I'll show you the picture from my student card. It is. I just had. Right. Okay. So I had to go get this picture done for my university card, and I didn't take my hat. I went to get the photo done first. I took my hat off, and I had hat hair. Massive kink. My eyes looked really sore because the wind had been absolutely killing my eyes. And then I got my hair cut and realized I should have done that first. But I needed to kill 15 minutes because it was raining so heavily. I could not win. So for 7 years, or however long I had it, I had this one picture where I looked like, to her, a paedophile.
Naturally.
Which is fantastic. But I spent 2 weeks coding this project, and other people did it as well. It was just that's the way you know. Some people operated like I did and just focused on it till you get the job done. Occasionally blacking out and looking at the code to notice I'd essentially written with my face for 8 hours.
Yeah, that's an accurate statement.
And then and then obviously having to being dragged into my room had a walk-in shower because I when I was late to my application was late to uni, so I got one of the more expensive dorms, which happened to have ensuite, which was fine. My housemate, he would, while I was still typing away, I hadn't realized he dragged my chair with me sat on it into the shower and turned it onto the hottest motherfucking setting. I've never screamed so loud in my life. I looked like a lobster.
I bet. Well, just not.
How long did it take for you to react?
From the cephalopod you already are, that wouldn't be too difficult.
It took me a while because I couldn't tell if I was hot or cold until I moved. And then I knew I fucked up.
Your skin off.
That was agony as well.
I mean, you should have put it like on the coldest setting. Then there's no possibility of.
If he had, I would probably would have just stayed there. I just would have given up.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh dear. University was good, and it was great because I know I wasn't the only person. I know a lot of girls who did coding as well, and they were just as obsessive because it was the idea, just that feeling of completing a job. And coding in any language except for Visual Basic, which is not a language, is incredibly difficult.
It's a scripting language.
I like
it's not
to
even
Frozen,
yeah,
a friend of mine, friend of both of ours, Frozen Binary Studio. She's a programmer, and I like to trigger her with the word "this."
How the hell do you do that?
It's funny. I get it.
It's a code thing, and it fucks her off so much. Oh yes.
Yeah,
I know the pain.
You basically use that to, you can say this dot or this pointer or something to refer to the object itself that you're in.
That does sound massively evil and funny. So
she told me about it by mistake, and I was like, that is the stupidest thing you've ever done. You just told someone who knows how to code what triggers you the most.
That's probably the worst possible thing you could do.
I will say that I went through a slight triggering about 10 years ago when I was first introduced to, it was 11 years, to MATLAB, and the lecturer refused. The lecturer refused to help me understand how to make a counter, like a timer, with the code, and I was getting increasingly.
You mean TikTok? Like
sorry?
Actual time or an iterator?
Like a stopwatch.
Oh, so using like Tick and Talk?
Yeah. And he didn't. And it was the simplest thing as well. But for some reason, I couldn't get it through my incredibly drunk adult mind.
Well, there's your problem right. There's your problem right there.
I still got very, very triggered. I still got triggered with this nerd, and I was like, "You're such a fucking nerd. I fucking hate you. I want to smash your nerdy face, you nerdy cunt."
That's some of my best programming while I'm not sober.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you're just drunk, you're fine. If you're just addled, that's fine. But drunk and addled, you're fucked.
I honestly, that was a what you call a foundation year, because I was late and a late applicant, so I couldn't get onto a full degree. I had to do this interim year thing to earn the credits. Didn't matter. I did it, but it was very easy to pass. It was all, I'd say, what you would call your senior year equivalent, which is our A levels. Yeah, which is our A levels.
Year before university.
And I already passed, so I spent most of my second and third semester drinking, and then when they found this kiosk which had ice creams on selling like lemon sorbet, I was abusing it.
I bet you were.
See, I had an interesting first year.
But yeah, I got a vast array of gig tickets because so many good bands came here. Like that was my first gig here at that uni was Motorhead.
Oh.
I've got the ticket. I've got the pictures. I've got a picture of Lemmy. It's such a good. I was so happy. Slight drawback though, my housemates they kind of glued a bright pink T-shirt to me.
What?
So there's Lemmy in all his leathers looking awesome, and then there's me in a pink shirt which he couldn't take off.
Oh,
I look like such a fucking spanner.
I'll bet you did.
So I had to tell him, so he actually got the joke.
Holy shit!
It didn't matter. There were a lot of good bands that played though. I was very happy to go to all of them. Waste my vast student loan that I never had, instead earning it to go and pay for it because I wasn't a slob or one of those really lucky rich kids that got to go for free.
Well, see, I would enjoy it if I could go to a truck stop just once and not hear music that sucks cock through a garden hose.
I just call that the living room in this house.
Oh well.
The music here is horrific.
Well, so basically, you get the idea of why I hate it so much. You have to go into that area for things like food and whatnot, but so it's kind of
I have to go there if I
unavoidable
want
at
to give my
times.
nephew a hug. It's absolute hell. I don't want to listen to R&B, hip-hoppy crap. You can all die.
Died of firing ball of death.
I keep telling them if they want music that sounds just as gay as what they play, but that's actually kind of decent, they could put on like 80s hair metal.
Yeah. What music do you like, Squidface? Death to all but metal.
Exactly. See, that's why me and the Squiddy get along so good.
It's very true.
Seems legit.
I'm sure Laura, being a Geordie, likes some trash. I've no doubt of it. She's from Newcastle. What do you expect?
Of course.
Was there any other articles we could peruse? Let's see. I
Well, there
have some.
probably is.
Hey, it was either an article or that story, and I'm not reading that here now because I've agreed with Misa to read it on the stream with her sometime.
Well, Omegon, you did see that thing I sent you about where they were bragging about the all-woman Wonder Woman showings, and then when guys hit back and said, "All right, fine, we'll have all men showings of fucking Star Wars Episode 8," they were like, "Well, why can't we all go to the movies together?"
There was actually somebody did point out to me there was an all screening of something before, but no one knew about it because it was buried. But some guys did actually go to the Alamo townhouse and get tickets for Wonder Woman, because if they turned them away on those women's nights, it would have been a violation of their civil rights.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Which I thought was hilarious because they had to let the guys in, and that to me is brilliant. It's not, obviously it's kind of petty if he did it just to stick it to the woman, the fucking kitchen dwelling cunts.
I've been reading a bunch of articles about.
My thing is why the fuck is everybody all of a sudden so head up on these blank only showings of whatever movie that sucks ass anyway? I don't get it.
There were some people that couldn't decide whether the movie was feminist or anti-feminist.
I thought the film was good. There, because DC has screwed. Okay, so DC have had this rotten luck with their films, their extended versions being superior to the original versions.
Of course.
Because they left out so much quality content, and that's fine. They learned their lesson. Wonder Woman was a good film, and it was good not just because of the story and the character, but also because, for the most part, it wasn't really force-fed down our throats as some empowering girls with strong women characters. It was mentioned nearer to the premiere, yes, but it wasn't as bad as Ghostbusters, which, by the way, there's a fantastic meme where there's the Ghostbusters cast with their shitty Ecto one, and all men are misogynists and shit for hating this film, and then or hating women. Oh no, they hated the reason this movie flopped was because it was an all-woman cast, and then next to it is Wonder Woman, and underneath it says made $100 million in the opening weekend.
Yeah, I saw that.
I like.
Oh, from what little bits and pieces I've seen of Wonder Woman, it seems like they've actually kind of kept along with the original story, or at least the latest iteration of her original story. So there's no reason to get your panties in a twist over.
Yeah, it stays true to the canon, which is very important to a lot of the actual fan base, which are the comic book readers, which a large percentage, an incredibly large percentage of, are male.
Yeah.
I mean, who did not, when they were a teenager and they heard about Wonder Woman, want to be tied up with a lasso of truth? Just admit it. Just admit it.
Oh, baby.
Well, see, that's the bad thing. I'm thinking I wouldn't be really very affected by that fucking lasso, because I'd be like, what? You expected me to say something I wouldn't normally say?
Okay, so something interesting in the chat. There are already talks about a black-only Black Panther screening.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of bringing all this up for. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh boy.
Because are they doing it because it features in Wakanda, or because it's like the first black superhero for getting that Falcon exists.
Forgetting that Blade was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just forget Wesley Snipes, shall we? That's the great
Okay,
thing
so-
about
so-
black people
so-
make up so few people in Hollywood. And you Google like famous black actors, and
Wait. I gotta be an asshole. So basically, what they're saying is they want the entire movie about Black Panther to make $5 and like 3 empty crack cocaine baggies.
fucking hell.
That's the profit they want off of this movie.
Hey, it might do well
Sounds
in
about right.
Harlem, okay?
You can't pay just for you assholes that do want this to be a thing, a black only show and a Black Panther. You do realize movie theaters don't take fucking food stamps.
I did just right. Okay, so I did Google right, because I forgot to add Premiere or something. I typed in "black only Black Panther," and one of the articles that came up was Marvel's Black Panther and Wakanda raises questions about African cultural appropriation.
Oh, Jesus
That's
fucking
just-
Christ.
Fucking
Let's go
what?
with Premiere. Yeah, no joke.
Sons of a bitch.
Oh,
These
it's only
pe-
out
these
5
people-
hours old.
This just proves these people need better fucking hobbies.
Oh, hang on, I'll screen share this because obviously I don't want to be accused of being a little cherry picking fag or something. That's a big old advert. What the fuck are you doing there? Fuck off. Present to everyone. There we go. Right. Oh, look, here we go. Always this half-assed BS that only entrenches stereotypes and bigotry, but you got to gush about it because nothing else. I get it, but when you have to settle for characters like Black Panther and celebrate that, then little wonder why ignorance on Africa prevails. Hey, there was a great image. Do you remember seeing it of if black people were left alone? This could have been Africa or something. It was
Oh
a
my
picture
god.
of Wakanda.
Oh my god.
was a
Fuck
picture
it.
of Wakanda.
No.
Instead of
but
a
the
instead of a
technology-
picture of a desolate wasteland with like 4 or 5 grass huts standing in the background.
Yeah, it showed like some sort of prosperous city. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wakanda's. The images looked fantastic. Although I am surprised. If it's set after Civil War, I am surprised that Cap doesn't feature or has not been mentioned to feature because he's obviously there anyway. That is interesting. Oh, someone's shitting on about the fact they had spears. Are you kidding me? Everyone has had spears. Do you really think only black people had them?
I was about to make a joke about Britney Spears being a whore, but I don't think that's where they were going.
No.
Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, Omegon said everybody's had spears, and it's like I had to stop myself from making the obvious joke.
It's a rite of passage that everyone at some point in their life absolutely drills the fuck out of Britney Spears.
I think I'm one of the lucky few that has not done so.
Okay, well, I luckily, I was 15 when she first appeared on the scene, so I was lucky.
Yeah, you were at least her age. I was like in my 20s already, so.
And she was still moderately attractive then, so it's okay. Whether or not there should be a black-only screening. If you label it that, no. But if you happen to have a screening and those that only turn up that are black, then it doesn't really matter. If you intentionally look to do that to raise some kind of horseshit idea or notion,
No.
For-
Omegon, let them do it so that that's the last nail in the coffin for that particular movie franchise. They will never make another one.
no.
I mean, see,
Black Panther's
here's the thing. I like the character, but I'm willing to sacrifice him so that these fuck knuckles learn a goddamn lesson.
It might encourage. It may well encourage a Falcon solo film, which is kind of. I'm surprised they hadn't considered doing something.
Nah, I doubt it. Falcon sucks anyway.
Oh, I'm not doubting he sucks, but they have a fallback option at least. But I still think if you're going to target or intentionally look to target towards a demographic, and while it is a nail in the coffin, or could be a nail in the coffin, I do think that's a weak thing to do, especially if you're doing it to try and promote some kind of unity. I don't know. I don't actually know what it's trying to promote or achieve, because it doesn't really serve a purpose past highlighting what supposed racism or something. Oh look, but there's still white people coming into our theater. No,
You know what I just realized? The one of the speakers that was talking at the domestic violence shit today, she said that she said that same-sex relationships experience domestic violence at the same rate as heterosexual relationships. So I was resisting the urge to say bullshit out loud because
that's been proven not to be true.
right. And
That's
one of the things that she gave us was that the National Coalition of Anti-Violence, like she gave a bunch of papers out. The National Coalition of Anti-Violence Programs conducted a 10-year study in 10 U.S. cities which documented domestic violence at a rate between 25 and 33% for same-sex relationships. A 1991 study found that 46% of the women responding had experienced 2 or more incidents of physical violence in their relationship. So lesbians are more violent? Yeah,
lesbians are horribly boring and violent people, so yeah, stay away from lesbians.
Yeah, and then although women are, this is for heterosexual relationships, although women are domestically violent, often at levels of severity similar to that of men, the impact of their violence is typically less than the men's violence.
There is something I want to look up at some point, and that's you've got the overall numbers of male victims and female victims. I want to know how many female victims are victims from female relationships, because I want to know how much. Because we keep hearing that we certainly have it with our domestic violence laws and the Istanbul Convention. It's all women and children, but it doesn't. With the lack of referencing to women being the perpetrator of the violence, it's quite disheartening because obviously it skews the results quite a bit. And I want to know if it does the same in the US as well.
Yeah, I know that based on our numbers that the same-sex female relationship is more violent than a heterosexual relationship, which is more violent than a same-sex male relationship. Same-sex male relationships are the least violent types of relationships in the U.S. Wonder why.
Andrew, there is a reason they call it a cat fight. You do realize?
Yeah, women tend to be more violent than men. It's just that men like to have their guns. So
you are such a misogynist.
Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. You're making me. You do realize you're making me blush, right?
Sweet.
I'm looking at the CDC. What year was this? 2014. I'm curious if they define rape for a man as forced to penetrate, because I remember that when you actually account for that, it's actually similar rates, but they're comparing 20%.
The made to penetrate forcible envelopment. Forcible envelopment one is a really annoying one because I've heard. I'd have to find the videos to back this up. I have heard people say that even if the guy's asleep with an erection, he's still asking for it. And it's like,
yeah, no, they do not list.
Well, okay, so there is. I've been to the FBI. I've used the FBI for this. They have a bunch of scenarios. Those scenarios are what they would constitute or fall into the brackets legally for rape. And there is no scenario.
The FBI is right. The CDC is wrong.
The FBI have some references, but they're not. They do not include made to penetrate or forcible envelopment. They include man on man, which is unsurprising. They don't include the one we have in the UK, which is the female commissioning gang rape, which is apparently somehow then she can be prosecuted, but not for rape, of course. Because she commissioned the gang rape. That's not the same thing. So, yeah. The FBI has about 20 to 25 scenarios they use, but and they have different criteria for types of rape as well. Not types of rape, but types of sexual assault.
Of course.
It's. I remember going through it. It is a mess.
Well, the U.S. is a fucking mess with everything, but
Well, if we could get it as ridiculous as it is the other way around, how do you think women would react if they look even so much as look at a man crossways? It's considered rape. I wonder how
because
quick they'd
that's
start
a form
bitching
of
about it.
violence. Because words and
Oh, yeah.
looks can be violence now. You don't have to actually touch somebody to be violent.
Just you talking to me, I might call your FBI now and tell them you're verbally raping me.
Pretty
Oh,
much,
there you
that
go.
would be something that they would.
Prepare to be fisted in prison.
Wait, Christy Winters is going to be there? If she is, I don't want to go.
I love. Okay, so earlier Kraut made a 2-minute video about autism is a choice or something, and I tweeted that out because he obviously put her Twitter handle on it. When I like videos, it doesn't go straight to Twitter,
Mm.
so I intentionally shared it to Twitter. It is so much autism as well. It was so funny, and it's only after the stream I did last night with Cog and Bear, I mentioned the Atheist Gamers. I mentioned his. Leaving the Skeptic community video, and Cog hadn't seen it, but he considered memeing it. And I was like, you should definitely do that because it's fucking hilarious. And so he did, and he's added like or every single cliche downy kind of music bit or skit, and then he's added irate bear spazzing out and saying, "I have downs."
Well, now here's the question though: why are all these people leaving these communities? You realize if you don't bother becoming a part of a community, you don't have to leave, right?
The whole argument, I think, is well for him. I think it's just to make a video. I don't know why. It's that okay. So to even consider it a video worth your time, you have to accept that the skeptic community exists, and I don't really agree because I don't think many people actually put that label onto themselves so much as it is put on them. There are some obviously who use it, but not
actually.
enough.
There's too many desperately lonely individuals, like people like Thunderfoot, I guess, who adopted the label so that they could feel like they were a part of something, and then just so they could turn around and, when things don't go the way they want to, they can say, "I am leaving in a huff."
The difference, though, with like Thunderfoot and the Atheist Gamer, Thunderfoot can easily say he doesn't want to associate with these people and move on. Yes, he did it in a dick way by being a cunt, but that's fine. He moved on. He's doing his other shit, which is bashing Anita and making science videos. Tag, though, is a different case entirely because he's been. I and Irate Bear both. Irate Bear and I, we've both said to him repeatedly, "You can change this. All you have to do." Either use your avatar and stick to it and plan your videos out, take your bloody time, or keep doing what you're doing and you're not going to be noticed and probably going to kill your reputation, which has already been dead the moment you confess on stream or on air that you poop yourself. Which is something I had to listen to believe. It turns out he did in fact admit to pooping himself. Fantastic. But
Okay, wait. He admitted to pooping himself. Okay.
Having issues, yes. He has had issues at the time.
I mean, I think we've all been in that situation where we trusted a fart a little too much, but
No, it's a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. I felt he could actually like fix things, but then he kept digging deeper and deeper, and by doing so, he's been memed by most people. I think I haven't, but only because I can't be bothered. It involves effort.
I don't know. I think I'd be kind of honored to be memed at this point, but I don't think I've done anything stupid enough to warrant one.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've got to cross that line and know that there is no going back. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather just do what I want to do. And that's what this is why I don't really care these community-related videos. They either talk about whether a community exists or say they're going to leave a community that they were never really a part of and doesn't really exist either. There is a loose connection of people who make overlap where people make similar content, but it doesn't mean that's a community, does it?
Not really. I mean, I'm not even sure at this point. I'm not even fucking sure what community, quote unquote community, I would even fit into, because I mean, I hang out mostly with the anti-SJW, anti-feminist crowd, but I don't know. I can't really say that I consider myself one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird like that.
That's cool. I mean, I don't really care for the whole community thing, but I do like that there are groups that exist I can just talk to. But it doesn't. I don't know. It is a very loose group. It's like, okay, so one of the best examples would be the B list, the Skype group,
Right.
because when I joined there were 30 people. Now it says there are over 100 people, but that group has changed a lot, and so many people have come in and left. It's an ever-changing kind of entity. It's not a community though; it's just a Skype group.
Well, I mean, but that any actual community would probably be like that. People come, people go. It's
Yeah,
just
actually,
part
that's
of the
the
way
thing. People
shit
think that
works.
some retards have this idiot notion that community is perfect and harmonious, as if there's no dissent of any kind. Are you kidding me?
It's like trying to get a bunch of libertarians to do something. There's a reason why the Libertarian Party in the United States will never become anything. It's because it's too individualistic.
No, it's like trying to teach cats synchronized swimming. How about that?
Yeah, that's the accurate statement. Oh. Apparently my upload speed is shit. Or maybe Google just throttles everything.
That is a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, that's me.
I was going to drop Beard Berry in the link, but he's getting a 403 error, which is rather irritating.
Did you copy it right?
I'll send it again. I sent it to him 20 minutes ago, but you're going to just be able to check it. It's pretty cool.
I guess just decided it was going to dump for a little bit.
Well, you know, shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you, since I noticed somebody mentioned they wanted an American perspective on the UK election, what do you guys think of it?
Oh,
Well,
lolzy. This is going to go down in history, but it's the biggest fuck up in the universe.
That is a shit show that requires a lawn chair, popcorn, and beer.
Honestly, I just don't know what's going to happen. But it's going to create so many very interesting discussions. But as with all things, with it being so well hung, very little will be done.
Well, my favorite was the one where they showed what was his name? The guy that stuck his cock in a pig's mouth.
David Cameron.
David Cameron. They showed him talking about how bad he fucked things up, and then the next thing is a picture of Theresa May going, "Hold my pims."
Oh no, there's a good one. Mim had from. Oh fuck it. Do I still have it? Oh, Mim. He was on Facebook and he wrote like. Oh no, I'll have to find it. But there were some memes with Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn, and they are so fucking funny. Where is it? I'll have to read it because obviously I don't want to dox it. Anyway.
Well, see, now I have to respect Jeremy Corbyn a little bit because he got away with high-fiving a titty, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so Mim wrote, quote, "Nothing can be worse than voting Tory." And then underneath it says, it's implying someone else is about to speak here. DUP, hold my communion wine. They're a Protestant party in Northern Ireland. That is a brilliant little bit of banter. He's been all over this shit as well. Mim has.
What my favorite part is they are fucking up so hardcore that Nigel Farage is actually going to throw his hat back in the ring.
Well, he said if we don't get the Brexit we deserve, he will have to.
Teresa,
and he's right.
Like, your conservatives didn't have to release a manifesto. By releasing that manifesto, they fucked themselves in the ass so hard.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, until last night, I didn't actually know about the gender pay gap references, which were there, and I could not believe it.
No, that's fine. Anybody that says the gender pay gap is real needs to go just like fuck themselves as the cactus or something.
They need to basically emulate Hitler with the pineapple being shoved up his ass by the devil.
You're snariest.
Yes. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh, holy snit!
He turns it so spikes go first. Oh. What I like is that the French-made outfit doesn't get blood stains on it, so clearly his sphincter's used to it.
Uh-huh.
Because you can't be wearing such a beautiful French-made outfit.
Well, and I learned something interesting last night. Did you know we wouldn't know half of what we know about hypothermia if it wasn't for Nazi experimentation?
No,
Well, at least
no,
they
I
did
did not know that.
I want to say they did something good, but at the same time...
Well, they did something good, but it was the way they did it that's kind of questionable.
Nazis. Yeah, they did a lot of fucked up shit. I mean, the Americans did fucked up shit with blacks during World War II, I think.
Let's see, my favorite part is laughing at people who talk about how bad Nazis are, and then you catch them driving a fucking Volkswagen. It's like, really, asshole? Really?
Beautiful.
You're basically driving a Hitler mobile, and you're giving me shit.
Yeah. I don't know much about. You mentioned Andrew. You mentioned how Americans treated blacks. Was it?
They did some. They did. I'm trying to remember exactly. They did some testing on against a bunch of different. It wasn't. I don't think it was blacks, but just testing reactions to. Well, people were pissed off because blacks were involved, but I forget what chemical it was that they. Let me see if I get the internet tells me.
When you mentioned that, the first thing I thought was the South Park Operation Hide Behind the Darkies. Which was, to me,
when the U.S. Military exposed minority soldiers to toxic mustard gas.
Also, not to the super soldier serum, then. Or maybe they told them that's what it was. Jesus Christ. Mustard gas. Are you kidding me? Well, they tried to build up a tolerance.
They were trying to see if blacks were more resistant to mustard gas than whites.
Are you kidding me? Wow. That's... Well, they're trying to save money on gas masks.
I guess.
I can't make jokes out of this. All I want to do is make jokes about it.
Well, hey, you know.
It's such a dick move as well. Oh. Magnus?
I'm trying not to make jokes, but it's really, really hard.
Yeah. Oh dear. You Americans really did treat your black people bad.
Not as bad as the kebabs did.
You should have just left them in the cotton fields.
At least we didn't castrate little black boys.
Oh my god. That's what they should do at Oxford as well. Oxford, if you want to make your black students feel comfortable, make them do an essay from where they feel comfortable. In chains.
Well, they still do have black people in chains. They just paint them gold so they're more comfortable with them.
Oh god. I'm gonna be if I'm lucky that this is quite a small channel, so not many people are gonna see me being a massively racist fuck.
Well, massively racist, misogynistic, sexist, all the fun stuff.
Basically ticking all the right boxes to a good stream. Oh dear. Oh dear. And obviously if we apply this same logic to other demographics, because as we all know, Islam is actually a race, not a religion. Everyone should be. All the men should be. Oh, I don't know where they should be. Where should men be? They should be in Sweden, fucking all the Swedish girls
Well, and
while doing.
I'm still enjoying that video you and T Bing did the other day about the guy with the silver spoon up his ass. What's his name?
She was okay. So I finished making that last Wednesday or Thursday, but I held off putting it up because I'd agreed to finish something else first. And when I first heard T's parts, she was brutal.
Well,
she
as
was
it should be.
Yeah. So when I'm listening, I'm like, what do I say that isn't as abusive? And it takes me forever because she's taken all the good jokes like fart face. I could have said fart face.
No, that skinny little homo deserves to be beaten like the fag he is.
Oh.
You should have left the most brutal statements in. Be honest with you.
I'll be honest.
Because I'm pretty sure if that would have been a collab between me and you, I would have been way meaner.
I think the only way it could have been actually meaner would have been to add Satirician, because he's a lot more. I've told him to be himself. If he's just himself, ignore every other disingenuous twerp that keeps telling him to be nicer. Just be himself. And just, let loose. It's what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, that's the thing. That's why he's got that many followers.
Yeah.
Holy
He's
fuck.
he's around the 72, 73,000 sub area, so he's doing pretty well.
Doing something right.
Yeah. Well, he did something right a long time ago, then he did something wrong, and now he's doing it right again.
Now he done unfucked up.
Yeah, well, hopefully, give it time. I do believe it's not such a big thing anymore. June's moved on to other shit. She's got to be a white knight somewhere.
Yep.
And where else for other demographics? Let's see. Straight white men, where would we want to put them? In front of the TV. No, we want them to be in a CEO office because they've got to be super powerful, because that's where we all belong.
Yeah, exactly.
All men belong there, except for let's see, we've got the Oppression Olympics for this, do we? Nah.
That reminds me, I need to go cash my weekly patriarchy check.
Oh yeah. I think I saw someone. Oh, was it Skype, Discord, or Twitter saying they were going to sell their white cis male privilege, and send it in a box, but instead just send a box full of lead and keep their privilege. It might have been a tweet someone sent to me. I have no idea why, because I wasn't paying attention.
Seems legit.
Well, see, if I do have so much privilege, I need to cash in on it and be rich, instead of actually working for what I get.
Yeah. Isn't it unfortunate having to actually do work?
Well, the reason I brought up that goofy fagaloon that you and T Bing were making fun of was I love how he actually said in the video he was able-bodied, and I was like, yeah, if you're a fucking pool noodle, what the fuck?
He's done a recent one on transphobia, and I might have a look at it, because while a lot of the thumbs up and comments seem to support him saying good things, I want to see if it actually is that or not.
Oh, did you see that Piper, the black bitch, that the Hawaii professor?
And another blog.
She made a part 2 to her blog.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've read it as well.
Isn't it just cancerous?
I just don't understand why she's still here. The annoying thing is, because I'm preoccupied with a few other little projects, I'm probably not going to get round to it yet.
I mean, it's probably not worth it.
The reason these people are still around is because they're horrible masochists who, I don't know, I guess they realize they deserve to get the shit kicked out of them or something.
Yeah, probably. I would say that it's probably not, but the first one I did is like my third most popular video. That video got so many. I got about 300 subscribers from that one video, which is brilliant.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It is. It is. So it gives me kind of an excuse to revisit the subject.
Go
Because
for it.
she's continuing to speak.
But I want to cover the intersectional quantum physics first,
Oh,
and I
God.
might have a look at the Title IX. I do want to have a look at that Title IX stuff at some point.
Which one?
Yeah,
the video.
just, we'll take our time.
Because there's going
I've
to
got
be
the-
like, what? I got 6 hours, or not 6 hours. How many hours of content was it today? Like 1, 2,
Oh, I love. Okay, so
3,
I
4,
I finished
5 hours of stuff today. Just
I finished-
people.
that's a
Just
lot of stuff.
the most
I finished.
interesting.
So go on.
I'll say that probably the most interesting one to listen to will be the working with accused students, because she was just really callous. It's because they don't really, they just don't give a shit about the accused students, is the way that they made it sound. And then the deans as well, they used very gendered language when it came to sexual violence. At least the person talking about domestic violence in the workshop later attempted and succeeded mostly to be just saying that domestic violence isn't a male on female problem or female on male problem. It's just a people problem. And that she actually didn't use, when she showed the cycle of violence thing, or the, not cycle of violence, the whatever the Duluth model, that chart is, except it was ungendered. So at least she wasn't a total cunt. But like she didn't say anything about the Duluth model. I was surprised, because that's the whole males are always the abuser type thing. So at least she was somewhat educated in that. She just has the wrong stats in saying that it's an overwhelmingly female problem when it's a problem that affects both men and women equally.
Honestly, that's at the point when you have to at least give them, like an A for effort, if nothing else.
I'll give her a B for effort, because she was used wrong sources. Or she continued to write because she worked in like Philly or something and does stuff as a lawyer, but tailored the talk to Title IX people who work with college students, and still use the 1 in 5 women will experience a sexual assault on campus, which has been proven multiple times over by hundreds of different people to just be wrong. And the people in this paper said that that number was inaccurate because of a 20% response rate.
Well,
1 in
but
5
yeah,
is worse than many other African countries that actually are rape cultures.
I'm thinking it would be funnier if they would do the 1 in 5 women will, they just tell the women 1 in 5 women will experience sexual whatever on campus, and then turn to the guys and say, guys, remember, 5 out of 5 women on college campuses are loony cunts.
Best stick to fucking each other.
Like basically, based on that 1 in 5 set, you're more likely to be raped on a college campus than you are like anywhere else in the world. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's pretty.
It's unfortunate that the working with accused students and the supposed link between alcohol and sexual violence was at the same time, because I would have wanted to go to the alcohol one, because one of the things that the dean, I think it was the deans, that they were talking about was I can't remember, it's in the clips that I have, but talking about why can't men use the excuse of I was drunk type thing, but women can, and they were just like,
That's because men can hold their liquor and women can't. Don't you know this?
right. But I had almost wanted to ask the question, but I would have probably gotten a bunch of dirty looks from the 95% of attendees who are females. But what happens if a guy is sober?
Wait.
What happens
Hold
if a
it.
guy is drunk and a girl is sober? Gasp. These people were callous.
Well, you should have risked getting the dirty looks, because that would have been funny.
Well, I might do it during the last workshop block that I'm at, because I'm not going to be going to the lunch on the last day and listen to the I won't be able to stand listening to the transgender politics guy talk. I'll lose my mind. But the conducting a successful investigation is the last workshop that I'll be going to, so I might fuck shit up there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, that whole identity politics thing, the only thing I've ever seen that is trying to make worthless assholes look more interesting by adding stupid labels.
Right, it's because the speaker's going to talk about the current presidential administration's revocation of the Dear Colleague letter on transgender students. Represents a complete reversal of federal efforts over the past few years to ensure the basic civil rights of these trans students. It's just not something that interests me. I care more about like the whole investigation process. I can give less of a shit about the other stuff. But the conducting a successful investigation, what do you define successful as? Because based on what your other speaker was talking about yesterday, accused students don't seem to have much rights. Or they...
Your generation is fucked. I just want you to know that.
Well, at least I'm out of college and I don't have to deal with that shit.
And you forgot to add, and not in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the one getting fucked. So, lube up.
Yeah, we're just boned 6 weeks from Sunday.
Okay, well, I have some things to do, so I'm going to end this now, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm expecting a phone call from somebody, so.
That's cool. I'll end this now. Thanks for joining.
Okay.